Hey guys, Desletter Magic here. It's time for some more Dominaria spoilers. So once again, I'm doing these in alphabetical order because that's how they were in the document, and I didn't feel like rearranging 100 cards manually, especially with no visual color guidance. Anyway, we left off at Black Blade Reforged. Now this is a legendary artifact equipment, and historically, legendary equipment has been pretty darn good. I mean, the only example I can actually think of is Godsend, but that card was amazing, one of the best cards ever printed. So this one's interesting. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control. That's crazy. Equip legendary creature 3 or equip any other creature 7. Does this remind you of anything, guys, where it's like, oh, you can only cast this on dinosaurs? They're locking you into the new mechanic from Dominaria, and the new mechanic is legendary. This is just like aggravating. I mean, for real, but still. For 2 and then equip 3, that's crazy. I mean, that's absolutely crazy, but the thing is, you're probably thinking, well, it's really cheap, I can do it really early. Well, if you do it early, it's not really that big of a plus, and honestly, if you only had 3 land, and then you equipped it for 3, and then it got a +3/+3, that's not that good. I mean, it's pretty good. On turn 3, it's like pretty good, but it's not like, oh my gosh, it's not like +10 or something. I'm worried about this on a legendary double striker. I'm just not sure any actually exist in the game, and I'm too lazy to check. So let's move on to the next one. We've got Blink of an Eye, which sounds cool. It's 1 and a blue instant, and Kicker, which is fantastic. So you can basically double the cost there. And return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If the spell is kicked, draw a card. Ooh, draw a card for an extra 2 mana. So it's not like, oh, you know, Cyclonic Rift. Okay, Overload. You can replace it with the word all. It's just, if you got 2 more mana and you want to get a little 2-for-1 special, draw a card. Otherwise, you know, just don't draw a card. Play it like a normal spell. So this is pretty good. I mean, and a 2-cost instant that bounces any non-land permanent to its owner's hand, that's already pretty good. So I really like that. Okay, next up, Bloodstone Goblin. It's a 1 and a red creature goblin warrior, not a knight, a warrior. 2/2, of course, and whenever you cast a spell, if that spell was kicked, Bloodstone Goblin gets +1/+1 and gains Menace until end of turn. Ooh. That could be some naughty combos, otherwise it's like really crappy limited prowess, but if you actually targeted him with a kicked spell, and it was a boost spell, there you go. I still think, I mean, that's so narrow, and it's like, I could say the same thing about a double striker. So it's not great. The funny thing is we don't know the rarity of any of these, and that's actually like kind of important, but I feel like this wouldn't be a rare. Next up, Broken Bond, regular sorcery, not legendary. Apparently I have to check that now. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Saga, enchantment, ouch. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Oh, I misread that. I thought this was red. It's 1 and a green. I don't know. I think I just skipped the cost, and then when it said artifact, I was like, oh, of course red cannot destroy enchantments. So this is pretty neat. I mean, I just feel like this would probably be, you know, some kind of like possible like naturalized alternative. I mean, it's way better than naturalized, so I like it. It's very situational, but if you miss the bonus, it's like whatever. Like it's not the end of the world, and I kind of do like that. It's like, oh, you might get a little something extra, but you might not, and if you don't, then whatever. You didn't really miss anything too much. Next up, Chainer's Torment. It's 3 and black. So 4. I mean, I'm going to keep reading them that way. It's Enchantment Saga. Oh, boy. 1 and 2 are Chainer's Torment deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. Pretty nice. Very, very, very nice. And then 3, create an XX Black Nightmare Horror Creature token. Ooh, I think that already existed. I think I have one of those, actually. Anyway, where X is half your life total rounded up, but it deals X damage to you. This is a time bomb that might literally blow up in your face. I mean, this is so crazy. So if you're at 20, you go to 22, then you go to 24, and then you would lose 12 life and create a 12/12 Black Nightmare Horror Creature. The problem is then it doesn't have Vigilance, and if you just nuke half your life total, you probably want it to have Vigilance. Now also, this is a 4 cost, and then you're 3 turns out from it, or I guess inclusive of the turn that it currently is. So, I mean, would this really turn around the game? No, not if you're at 6 life when you cast it. I mean, theoretically, if you never get hit past that, which that's a stretch, you would basically get like up to 10, lose 5, and then you got to somehow win the game with a 5/5 and then 5 life, which is pretty dangerous. So that's pretty wild. I don't think it's going to be terribly heavily played. I mean, maybe in like black-white life gain or something. I don't know, maybe with like Crested Sunmare or something. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Next up, Chandra from the Planeswalker deck. So of course it costs 6 to get her out. Surprisingly, double red, nothing else. But still, it'll almost definitely be a 2-color deck. So Legendary Planeswalker, Chandra, and then it just says 5 for some reason. I guess that means she comes out with 5 loyalty. I would assume. I mean, what else would the number 5 just be there for the fun of it? I don't know. +1, add red mana, so 2 red mana, nice. And she deals 2 damage to target player. That's just nice. I mean, that's honestly kind of similar to her Kaladesh form, or Aether Revolt, or whatever. So -3, she deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Very nice, I like that. And let's see, -7, she deals 10 damage to target player and each creature and planeswalker they control. So -3, she throws a kind of big fireball at him, and -7, she really hits him with like a Goku level spirit bomb full of fire. I mean, honestly, at 6 mana, there's nothing too special about her, but she's good. I mean, she's just good, and that's pretty much what they've been putting in the Planeswalker deck is, oh yeah, it's just good. And honestly, her ultimate's pretty nuts too. I mean, 10 damage to the player and each creature and each planeswalker, but only on their side of the board for just -7. Here's the thing. Okay, the turn she comes out, go 5 uptick 6, the next turn 7, and then the next turn -7. Holy crap, like that is fast. Unfortunately, there's nothing fast about, 6 red, so I don't know. Will she find play? Maybe, if people can ramp into it, but I don't think they will. Next up, Charge! Costs 1 white. It's an instant. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. I could have sworn there was already a card that did this. It must cost more than 1 white. I think it costs 2, and it's like, if you have the Ascension or City's Blessing, whatever, then it's +2/+2. But hey, for one, I mean, it's the lowest level, least likely to actually work combat trick, because if you're rushing a 5/5 into like, or a 4/4 into a 5/5, and then cool, I'm going to block it, well, then you just upgraded it to a trade, which, I mean, is that really that much better? I mean, yeah, kind of, but eh. But this could go from, yeah, I can take that much damage, I'll let 3 of them through, to, oh, now you're dead. But once they know you have it, I mean, who's going to let that many through and cut it that close? I mean, I don't know. It's very situational, but it's 1 white. I mean, I would definitely, like, put this in my deck at a pre-release. So next up, Corrosive Ooze. It's a generic 1 green, so 2 cost 2/2 ooze creature, and when it blocks or becomes blocked by an equipped creature, destroy all equipment attached to that creature at the end of combat. Oh, I think I fought one of these in Dungeons & Dragons. We actually had weapons in DDO called ooze beaters. They'd be made out of like glass or wood because it wouldn't corrode them like metal. Because if you bash with a metal sword on an ooze, it would just eat your weapon. It would deal so much durability damage. So this is kind of funny. I mean, would I rather just cast like Naturalize and just nuke the equipment directly? Probably, because the 2/2 creature is nothing special, but I don't know. I mean, this is nice because you could mainboard this if you really wanted, like really, really, really wanted. And it would only destroy equipment and only if it's involved in combat. I mean, that's kind of narrow, but otherwise you use it as a creature. So it's like, okay, a little backup plan, but still, this just doesn't seem that great. Next up, Curator's Wand, which is not an artifact. Oh, also probably because it says Ward, not Wand. That's probably why it's not an artifact. That makes sense. It's after midnight, people. It's all going downhill from here. So it's an enchantment aura. Enchant permanent. Enchanted permanent has hexproof. Boy, that's a lot of mana. But also, when enchanted permanent leaves the battlefield, if it was historic, draw 2 cards. Artifacts, legendaries, and sagas are historic. So that's actually kind of nice. If they make you sack it or do something else to destroy it, destroy it in combat, whatever, then you get to draw 2 cards, which is very likely to replace whatever was gone, sort of, depending upon the deck. So that's actually pretty nice. For 2 and a blue, I mean, that's really not bad. I mean, it's one step down from you preventing them from targeting it and burning their spell. Because hexproof is like, okay, there you go. You can see it. I did it. No flash, nothing. It's just, here, you can't target this. And then they try to work around it. I like, oh, you're targeting it with a fatal push? Negate. Or, oh, granted hexproof, granted indestructible. Because then they burn the spell. It fizzles, which is definitely a technical term, and goes to the graveyard. Next up, Damping Sphere, not Dampening Sphere, which they literally just printed Dampening Pulse not that long ago, so that's odd. I don't know, maybe they didn't want the water connotation. I'm sure damping is a real word. So it's a 2-cost artifact, colorless. If a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, it produces C instead? The hell is C? Oh, colorless. Like literally colorless. Okay, I've never seen that written out before. Oh man, this sucks. This completely nukes Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, because you would be like, oh, I choose Green Devotion. Cool, I tap it for, 9 green. Now you get, 9 colorless. Have fun. The best thing is this does nothing to stop Tron. It just screws with literally just Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx. But in Standard, it's going to stop some of that obnoxious, flippy land crap from Rivals, I would think. I mean, I consider those mana abilities not like if a land is tapped, but then again, I didn't read any of these rulings at all. Oh, do you want to know why it's called Damping Sphere? And probably should be called Dampening? Each spell a player casts costs 1 more to cast for each other spell that player has cast this turn. Hallelujah, a 2-cost answer to Storm. Storm can take this card and shove it right up its ass. I hate Storm decks. I hate them. I hate everything about them. You know what else I hate? Phyrexian spells that use Phyrexian mana. As a rule, I generally dislike stuff that costs 0 at all. By the way, this is like spells. Like we're talking creatures, artifacts, enchantments, anything. Just you want to do more than one thing on a turn? Nope. Oh no, so your land's useless. So not only did they completely cut the legs off of your mana generation by making it virtually useless in most cases, but every time you try to cast more than one spell, they go up and up and up and up. This is hilarious. This card, I don't even know what rarity it is, and I'm going to say $10 right here. I mean, it's not like people really need an answer for Storm, like who's really playing Storm, except for its massively inflated prevalence on MTGO. But this is just too funny. I mean, this shuts down certain really specific decks. That's why, okay, will it really get to $10? Maybe, maybe not. But I'd like to see it there. I mean, Ashes of the Abhorrent never went anywhere. Solemnity, I don't think Solemnity ever broke $10. Whatever the other one is. Honor Guard, I think it was. That one never went anywhere. And they all stopped just dead in its tracks, certain decks. But if you don't know you're playing against that, then you don't know to put it in your sideboard. So, that's the paradox. So next up, Dark Bargain. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 of them in your hand, and the other into your graveyard. Dark Bargain deals 2 damage to you. This is like the weirdest version of Read the Bones I've ever seen. Also, it costs 4, but I would say it's arguably a little bit better because you get more information. I do like that it gets around draw because it says put them in your hand, not draw them. There's a difference. So I don't know if they'll really pick this up in Modern or anything, but it's pretty good. I bet you Death's Shadow could make use of this though, but it still costs 4. I don't know, it's kind of neat though. Next up, Daragaz Reincarnated, I guess, maybe. He costs 7, so he's impossible to play. He's a legendary creature dragon, because of course he is. 7/7 Flying Trample Haste, that's fun, like we needed another Glorybringer. And if it would die, instead exile it with 3 egg counters on it. I'm sure they're referring to literal egg counters that you use to time your boiled eggs. I'm going to bring those and play this, just for the meme, just to do it. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Daragaz, whatever, is exiled with an egg counter on it, remove an egg counter from it. In other words, it's a suspend counter. Then if Daragaz has no egg counters on it, return it to the battlefield. I could see this maybe being like a really out there commander because you'd never have to pay 2 extra for it. So it's kind of neat, but at 7, is it really playable? No, probably not. It's triple color. I don't like it. Next up, Dauntless Bodyguard. 1 white, 2/1. I love it already. When it enters the battlefield, choose another creature you control. Sacrifice Dauntless Bodyguard, and the chosen creature gains indestructible until end of turn. That makes sense. It's a bodyguard. Cool. So that's actually kind of nice because this will deal a ton of damage if there's nothing else. So just turn 1, drop them. Hey, you got a 2/1. I mean, it's practically Raptor Companion, but a turn earlier. Well, and also 1 less attack, but still. But then, late game, you're like, oh, drop it in. Still a 2/1. You could chump block a 3/2 and take it out if you really wanted. And also you can sacrifice it and make something else indestructible. I would dare say, and this is going to be controversial, but a better version of Yahenni Undying Partisan. I mean, you can only do it once, but like usually that's enough. The problem is there's no ambush here. They know you're going to do it. They know that if they target it with some kind of removal spell, you're going to give it indestructible. And this still doesn't stop sacrificing, not really. I don't know, it doesn't stop a whole bunch of stuff, but it's still a 2-1 for 1 white. I mean, what do you want for 1 white? It's a little bit of a maybe insurance policy. I like this. Just remember, you don't have to choose the target until it enters the battlefield. So if they're like, oh, but which one are you going to protect? You don't have to tell them if they're sitting there with like an essence scatter and they're trying to decide if they want to, scatter it. So I love this card. I have the strangest feeling it's going to be a rare though. So that's it for this video, because that's all the screenshots I took of my glorious Word document here. Watch for more in the future, because I'm going to keep making these. But for now, I'm probably going to bed, because I feel like crap. Seriously, I showed up to work today like 20 minutes late and got some bitchy call from a customer who showed up like literally 1 minute after I opened, which I already have something against people who do that. And oh my gosh, she started like bitching at me, and I was just like, oh, don't even start with me, bitch. I swear to God. I literally told her I don't give a crap about this business. It actually lost money last year. I don't know why the hell I'm still open, other than I'm trying to, try new things to make large amounts of money in short periods of time to pay off old debt so that I can close. I was busy working on something last night until like 3 or 4 in the morning that actually does pay money. To which she just said, oh. I was like, damn right, oh. And that's been another episode of Storytime with Des. By the way, the second I got off the phone with her, I downed half a Venom energy drink and 2 Tylenol. Oh, and FYI, at my shop, we refer to that as the number 3 breakfast combo platter. I just remember what I did after that, too. I noticed there was like a million emails and voicemails. I'm like, you know what? There's like a really good tier 3 raid right across the street in Pokemon Go. So I literally just like flipped the sign to be back in 15 minutes. And I just like left. Also, it was a Scyther, and I got 6 rare candy off it. So in other words, I need some sleep tonight, so I'll see you guys next video.